Let me start off, Madam Secretary. I view the China challenge as a multidimensional issue. It's not simply a simple economic competition, security, cultural. It goes across so many different dimensions and in so many different parts of the world. So, and I look at that multidimensional challenge, and in my view, it's no secret that I believe that our diplomacy and resourcing lags when it comes to meeting China's investments in diplomacy. So I'll be asking OMB and the administration to significantly staff up if we want to meet the challenge. This is a huge dimension of what we need to meet. But how is the department looking at making sure that its operations and resourcing, particularly through staffing and personnel expertise, are sufficient to meet the diplomatic challenges we face with an increasing influential China around the world?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Could not agree with you more that the scale and scope of the challenge is enormous. And as a result, the Secretary of State asked me to take special responsibility, as you pointed out, for the organization. And I want to thank this committee and the Congress for supporting us in launching what is the China Office of Coordination, better known as China House in the department. This is really a new matrix organization that is not just a rearrangement of the chairs at the State Department, but rather a way to make sure that we have a multidimensional, multi-domain awareness, integration of everything we're doing around the world. That we not only have an integrated strategy towards China, working with the interagency as well, but every single mission around the world has a bespoke China strategy. Because as you pointed out, China is everywhere in the world. I run a China strategy group on a regular basis, bringing together all of those dimensions. I can't give you specifics because we're still working on the FY24 budget to be released next month, but you will see in the budget a deep and broad commitment and a significant increase in our resources for the Indo-Pacific, as you have long advocated for. In the FY23 budget, our foreign assistance reached $1.8 billion, a 50% increase from just 7 years ago. So yes, I would agree with you. We are not where we need to be yet, but I believe we are changing our approach. To give you one specific example, in the Indo-Pacific, in the Pacific Islands, where quite rightly China has positioned itself, we have taken a very new and bold approach, again, with bipartisan support. We just opened an embassy in the Solomon Islands. We are working on posts, and we'll be announcing them soon, in Tonga and Kiribati. We are returning the Peace Corps to that part of the world. So every single place we have a bespoke approach. We are following through on those strategies, and we are working on the resources to match that ambition.
I look forward to seeing the budget proposal as a pursuit of that. Here's another dimension when we talk about multidimensional. The PRC is pursuing new and alarming ways to influence and control the United Nations, including attempts to curtail or defund UN efforts to improve its human rights system. Recently, in the UN Budget Committee, the PRC led efforts with Russia to slash budgets for several key human rights investigative mechanisms. How is the department pushing back against their systematic effort to subvert the ability of the United Nations human rights systems to confront abuses in China and beyond?
I think it's a very important point. It's why it was important for the United States to be able to rejoin the Human Rights Council and to engage in a much more effective way at the UN. You're quite right. The Chinese operate in the UN system very effectively for years. They have put people in junior positions, which you simply can sign up for financially, and put people into slots, and then those people move up the chain in the UN system. Our UN ambassador, Linda Thomas-Greenfield, is very engaged in looking at all the ways that the Chinese have penetrated the UN system and figuring out with our International Organization Bureau ways to challenge all of that. But I quite agree with you. We have a lot of work to do.
We could take, not to want to copy too many things for the Chinese,
Sure.
but we could definitely take a lesson from their page book. They have systematically, methodically implemented their people in a way that ultimately leads them to have influence on a wide variety of cross-section of the UN. And that's not the only place, World Health Organization, I could go on and
Yes.
on. Finally, what is the administration doing? Chinese imports of Iranian oil have exceeded 1 million barrels per day over the past 3 months. That relationship is mutually beneficial. Tehran gets to export its oil despite U.S. sanctions, and Beijing receives a steep discount. What is the administration doing to increase the costs on China for helping Iran evade U.S. sanctions? How does it plan to make a measurable dent in Iran's oil exports to China and others such that Iran is not reaping the benefits of steady oil prices?
Excellent question. I don't have a full answer for you today, Mr. Chairman, but I will get back to you on that. What I will say is that we are working on sanctions evasion, including by seeing what's happening to tankers around the world and taking actions that we can to interdict and stop those oil shipments and to sanction those companies that are undermining our sanctions regime around Iranian oil. But I agree with you. This is a problem.
Well, I look forward to hearing back from you and the administration. Listen, you don't hide 1 million barrels a day for the last 3 months and not know it's out there, and it's happening largely with impunity. So multidimensional China challenge, here's another one, but it also involves Iran, which is also part of our target. We should be doing much better.